Once you have a code sheet in place, so a module, you're ready to then start creating procedures. Now there are two types of procedure in VBA, a subroutine and a function. The easiest way to distinguish the two is to think of a subroutine as a series of instructions that will carry out a variety of things and not necessarily actually return anything to the database, whereas a function will again carry out a series of steps but will usually return something, and usually having taken something as well. So it'll take a value and return a different value, carrying out something to it in the meantime. What we're going to have a look at here is just the syntax for creating either subroutines or functions. Now, when you create a subroutine, you simply need to be in your desired module. So here I am in my Guy code, which is a module we created previously. And I want to create a subroutine. I simply call that subroutine by saying sub, then deciding on a name for the subroutine. I'm going to call it Guy sub, set of open and close brackets. What will then follow those instructions are a series of lines to tell it what to do. Now, what you may have noticed there is that when I pressed return after sub Guy sub open close brackets, what the editor did was to capitalize the S of the initial sub and place an end sub. My subroutine is then encompassed by a start and an end point. This is the start point of the subroutine, this is the end point of the subroutine, and at that point the subroutine will stop carrying out whatever it's been told to carry out. If I then press return and come down, and I want to create a function, straightforward as function, space. What do I want to call the function? What about Guy function? Notice I'm using camel case for my object names here, no spaces, open and close brackets. And again, I'm just going to press return here. And you'll see that the editor has done a number of things. Firstly, it's put a solid line between the previous statement of the subroutine and this function. Then it's capitalized the F of function and turned it blue, and it's placed an end function for me after whatever the steps of the function will be. So that's the simple steps to creating either a subroutine or a function. And as we go through the title, you'll come across examples of subroutines, examples of functions, and when to use which and when to use the other. Now, because we're in a standard module, I don't actually need to declare the scope of these functions, but I could declare them as public, but they are public anyway because they're in a standard module, so it's available to the whole Access database. So these two little publics become defunct, but it can become a good habit to get into to declare your functions and subroutines as either private or public. The public meaning that that procedure is open and available to the whole database. Private meaning that that subroutine or function is only available to the individual class that the code is contained within.